Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and I'm a full-time reseller on both eBay and Amazon, and today I'm having a rant. This video is not to be taken completely seriously. It's mostly tongue-in-cheek. Some of this stuff I do myself, so it's like a self-deprecating thing. Some of it's like kind of real, but mostly like if I say anything that you do not take it personally, because I don't have a single actual person in mind for any of these things. These are just things that I've seen served to me in videos and stuff on Instagram throughout the year. So like, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not trying to be starting stuff. It's just a little rant, just a little teeny tiny rant. This is gonna be the top 10 things that I want resellers, mostly YouTuber, publicly visible resellers, but also like completely normal people resellers to stop doing in 2024. And again, don't at me. Don't be coming at me in the comments being all, wait, hang on. Actually, do at me in the comments. Come right at me. Bring all your hate. Start fights. Go for it. I think I'm going to make this a new tradition, ending the year with some sort of like lighthearted story or rant, a nonsense video, because I feel like I've given you some real quality content over the last year. So please indulge me in being a little silly goofy to end the year. It's a little silly goofy. Anyway, let's get into the complete nonsense. Number 1, only showing your gross numbers with no other context at all. And I know why people do it too. They say, I'm the only person competing with myself. It's me versus me. I'm just doing it to document my journey and all that stuff. And that's all well and good. But guys, we all have our business in our pocket. We don't need to be posting the number for it to be a me versus me kind of thing. I can literally just look at my Amazon and it'll tell me whether I'm up or down from next year, or last year, I should say. We all know that posting gross numbers can be aspirational, right? Sometimes we post it to be like, look at what you can achieve. But if you posted your net numbers, I think that would be a little more something to aspire to, right? Because we all know that with gross numbers, that's not the amount you're taking home. We have no idea what fraction of that you're actually like living off of. So if you're putting the numbers out there for aspirational reasons, like I want to show people what they can hope to achieve being a reseller, how is that actually helping anyone? Because all it says is that you can generate income, but not necessarily profit off of it. And you might be saying, well, people know that when you show your gross numbers, you know, you're not really taking that home, but you'd be surprised. A lot of newbies really don't have the ability to separate what they see people making and what they actually take home. And that can be like disorienting. That's why I personally try and give a breakdown of my income. I've given 2. If I do another one, it's going to be on my Patreon. But I do try and show, you know, what I actually take home versus what I'm selling. Number 2, saying the words thrift online for a profit in like the beginning of every Instagram reel. Oh my gosh. I want to know where this came from, okay? I want to know who planted the first seed of like, guys, this is what you got to say. This is the magic special sauce you got to sprinkle in your Instagram reels to get views. Thrift online for a profit. SEO. If anybody knows SEO, it's me. I have a degree in marketing management. I went to school for marketing. I understand marketing. I understand SEO. I understand what you're trying to achieve by saying those words. But I don't believe Instagram reels skim your dialogue for information on who and what to show your reel to. On YouTube though, however, you can sprinkle all sorts of keywords in your dialogue to help the video get served to the right audience. Here, I'll do it right now. Reselling for beginners, eBay business, flipping online, thrift with me, reselling, Amazon business. You say some words YouTube likes enough, it will help your video. But as far as short form content, like stuff on TikTok and Instagram, I don't know that the data's there to support sprinkling keywords and stuff in your dialogue. But even if it were the case, even if you can pull up the data that says I'm completely wrong, why specifically the term flip online for a profit? Where is the data that that is the term you want to use? Because I would argue saying just reselling or flipping or thrift finds, there are better keyword choices, is what I'm trying to say. We don't all have to be in lockstep saying flip online for a profit. Like, in 2024, can we please come up with new SEO? That's all I'm asking. Number 3, not putting the effort in. So by this, I mean not like buying electronics that you know you could test and just not testing them. Buying something that you know you could clean and you just don't clean it. That's not the same as like choosing to pass on stuff that's really dirty or outside of your technical expertise. I see a lot of people who've made that argument this year, and I agree with them. There's stuff that I have started passing on because I don't have the time to either clean it or test it properly. That's a completely fine decision to make for your business. But buying like an obviously dirty pair of shoes that you could at least like run under the sink and wash off a little bit before listing, and then just being like, nope, gonna list it completely caked with dirt, that's fine. Why? Put the little bit of effort in, or just don't buy it. And the same goes for electronics. There are people in this community that are really open about the fact they do not test their electronics, like at all, because they put the onus on the person buying it to test it, because they have like returns on. So like if it doesn't work, they'll just return it. But that's crummy, right? Like, am I crazy in thinking this? Because I personally, if I have the means to test something, I'm gonna test it. When I buy a DVD recorder, you bet I'm gonna find a disc that works with it, and I'm gonna record something, and I'm going to make sure it works. I feel like it just reflects poorly on all of us when people are out here doing the bare minimum, because I feel like we've all gotten those buyers who've sent us a message saying like, I've read your description and you say that it works, but does it really? Because I've bought one in the past and it ended up like it didn't work at all, because people just don't test things or they lie about it. So naturally that's making buyers skittish that they can't trust anything we say, because other resellers are just putting in the bare minimum and skating by. Like, it shouldn't be a badge of honor to be like, I'm a volume seller and I don't have time for this. I'm too busy doing other things. Like, you're too busy to run your business properly? What is this? Or maybe they're more worried about number 4 instead. Number 4, crapping out content. Really, hats off to anybody who can make like really engaging, really informative, well-edited videos multiple times a week. I certainly cannot do that. But if I'm being completely honest, I do not think most of us in the community can either. Some folks are out here with like a ton of negatives in their eBay stores, and that feedback will be indicative of like, they don't test things, they don't respond to customer inquiries, or worse, they responded to inquiries and they were rude. You know, the issues that I spoke about in number 3, just not putting the effort in. So it's weird to me, if you have time to sort of crap out content online, but you don't have time to respond to like one customer inquiry on your eBay store, make that make sense. Like, are you prioritizing being a content creator over being an actual reseller? Because I think that's something that needs to just like cut it off in 2024. Focus on your actual reselling business first, and the content creation should be second. Number 5, showing listed comps and not sold comps. Again, this was something that I saw a lot from Instagram Reels this year. I can't name like anybody specific because I don't remember who any of these people were. But I got a lot of thrifting content this year on Instagram. And people would be like, look at this rare item that I found thrifting. And they'd show a comp that's like a listed comp for like a zillion dollars, you know, something insane. But then people would be in the comments rightfully pointing out like, that's a listed comp. That's not a sold comp. it seems like you're just showing the listed comp for like sensationalizing what you found. Because if you look at the sold comps, either there aren't any, so you might have to take the Terra peek and find that what it sold for was not nearly that much, or there are sold comps and they are like significantly less. So I guess a subset of that is like, don't deliberately contribute to clickbait. You know, it's fun to be like, look at this $12,000 item I found at the thrift, but that's just some weirdo sticking a price on it on eBay that will probably never get that price, because it's probably worth far less than that. It harkens back to like news channels that want to trot out that tired black diamond VHS tape nonsense. They always seem to recycle this story, like, look at these crazy prices on eBay. And it's all listed comps, because nobody buys black diamond VHS tapes. They're not, it's like some sort of weird urban legend at this point that just keeps getting spread. I changed locations. I'm right next to my Christmas tree, and yet he will still come. He will still find a way in here. So like, if you do only find a listed comp, try and do a little more research before like presenting this as fact. Otherwise, it just feels like clickbait. And then I guess a subset of that is like number 6, showing the wrong item or wrong like type when you're showing your comp. I saw this again a lot this year where people would be like, look at this item I found, and it's like a used item, maybe not in great condition, and the comp they show to like show it off as a great find is like an item that's in brand new sealed condition or something. And it's like, again, if you're doing it intentionally, it feels like you're just contributing to like clickbait and sensationalism. There are plenty of times where I'll find a used item and the only comp I can find is a sold that is like a brand new one, and clearly they're not the same. I only really like show comps and stuff when I am in my stories, and I'll usually post a little blurb like the only comp I could find was a new one. I'll probably sell it for less than this. So you might think that like that's not necessary, that people are smart enough to put 2 and 2 together, but again, you would be surprised, and I just don't want to, I don't personally want to contribute to like misinformation. So just a little nitpick there. Like, I just found this Hulk action figure, and it took me a while to find a used comp. I was only finding a new comp that was like over $100, and the used comp ended up being like $35. But it would be like me being like, look at this rare Hulk figure I found, and showing $100 comp, and it's like, he's not worth that. He's worth $35. Number 7, just vanishing into thin air. So I have been a niche, reselling, publicly visible micro celebrity for like four years now. And in that time, I've gotten to know a lot of people in the community, specifically the Instagram community. And like, I like building these kind of connections with like-minded people online. And then these people will just drop off the face of the earth. And it's like, where did you go? What are you doing? Are you still reselling? Are you okay? Like, it always makes me sad when you make a connection and then that person just sort of like drops out of the community and stops posting. So I guess in 2024, stay here. Don't leave. Don't leave me. Don't leave the community. Like, even if you don't really want to post anymore, just like a little update from time to time would be cool. And I feel like I'm not alone in this. I know people, you know, grow attached to seeing certain people online, and when those people just up and disappear from the community or stop making content, it just makes you wonder. It makes you sad. Number 8. Stop painting broad strokes about what is and isn't valuable. I again saw this a lot in reels. It seemed like I just got a lot of very clickbaity reels on Instagram this year, because Instagram seemed like it just wanted to show me content it thought I wanted to see, and showed me a lot less from like people I was actually following. I don't know if that was just me this year, if that was like a trend that everybody noticed. So I would get recommended a lot of reels from people that I don't follow. And I've already noted some things that I've seen, but something I saw a lot was saying like, everybody's sleeping on this category's worth money. And it's like, but I sell that category and I talk about that category. And I can tell you right now, the majority of that category is not worth big money. Like I saw one that was like, you know, everybody's sleeping on hair tools. I haven't seen anybody talk about hair tools. And it's like, I talk about hair tools all the time in my stories. I'm constantly telling people specifically what hair tools are worth money. InStylers, velvet flocked curlers, Remington wet to straights, Rudy volumes, like the kind of crimpers that add volume. There are specific things to look for within categories that are worth money, but saying like an entire category is worth money, we need to cut that out. We just need to stop doing that because that's clickbait. Like, what is the point of trying to be a reseller with the goal of educating others and then spreading like really misinformation or like broad strokes? Like, I fail to see how that's actually helping anyone other than building your own views, which converts to making money. So in 2024, just like knock it off. Be more specific if you're gonna talk about stuff. Number 9 was kind of like a combination, completely little nitpicks that are like stupid. Like, you can go ahead and say these are stupid. 9A, I guess, would be using your face either as a picture or like a stylized cartoon logo as your logo. And I'm guilty of this because my main picture in like Instagram and YouTube and stuff is just my face. But I do have a separate logo that I use for text. But like, I don't know of any other businesses I see that tend to use like a face or cartoon face of themselves as logos as much as resellers do. Like, we just love being like, this is me and this is my store. So I guess in 2024, my suggestion would be to like just come up with something else.
I'm picking my kids up from school and I just remembered one more thing I wanted to include in number 9 as like a stupid, not serious, funny thing at all. Stop reusing the same surprise photos in your thumbnails, like the same 3 surprise photos or whatever. I at least take a new one every time. I'm totally guilty of doing surprise face, but in 2024, when you're doing your thumbnails, please just take a new one every time.
And then finally, the big one, number 10 thing that I want resellers to stop doing in 2024 is comparing yourself to others. We all live in different areas of the country. Though we shop at different thrift stores, those thrift stores are going to have completely different donation makeups depending on the surrounding areas. They're going to be pricing them differently. Some of them don't even put the same items on the floor. Like in my area, I have 3 different independently run Goodwill regions, and I go to all of them. All 3 of them do not sell video games. They all take the video games and put them in their online auctions. Almost 100%. Sometimes they'll let some like cheaper Wii games and stuff through, or they'll have them behind the counter for an astronomical price, but for the most part, I cannot walk into a Goodwill, any of the 3 regional ones that I go to, and find like a Mario Kart Double Dash for GameCube sitting on the shelf. 0% chance. Yet, I see resellers finding video games at the thrift all the time. So it's really easy to compare and be like, why am I not having this success? Like, so-and-so is absolutely killing it, and I'm getting by on crumbs. Like, clearly I'm doing something wrong. And that makes me sad that people, you know, have such a need to compare what other people are doing. Because they're either doing that thing where they're, like in number 1 where I said, they're just documenting their journey. And that's fine, because that's realistic for them. They're finding that stuff. There's nothing wrong with sharing it. But at the same time, people see that and then wonder why it's not happening for them. So I think we all need to collectively realize that like some areas are gonna get better donations. I live in Cornfield, USA. You know, I'm not finding a lot of high dollar bougie stuff here. And that just is what it is. But I can live vicariously through some of my friends on Instagram who find just like bangers, beauty stuff all day long that I can't conceivably find here because the people here just aren't buying that kind of stuff. And we also need to stop comparing ourselves with our time commitments, because I know it's very popular to be like, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but that is not true. I personally have 2 kids. I do most of the domestic tasks in my house because my husband works an awful lot and he's not always home. And he does resell on the side as a hobby. I shouldn't say a hobby, he has a full-fledged business, but it's second to his full-time job. So I don't have family that's helping me run my business. I don't have, I have kids. Some people in the community don't have kids. Some people are much younger than me and have just more time and energy to do these things. So it's also really easy to fall into the trap of seeing what they're doing, and they just seem to have so much time to get this stuff done. And then, like, I wonder where my time goes half the day because I can barely get my listings done and all that. So, like, I'm completely guilty of this. I compare myself to other people all the time, even though I know I shouldn't. But I'm also saying you shouldn't either. Even to me, don't compare yourself to me. I find stuff very cheaply in my area. I have people messaging me all the time saying, that would be 3 times as expensive in my area. Or, I'm surprised you can find beauty at all because my thrift stores just throw it all away. Like, the mix is so different and random that everybody's business is going to be like just one little snapshot of one business that you can't hope to completely emulate unless you like move in to be that person's neighbor and go into all the stores they do and do exactly what they do. But I don't think we should be advocating for that either. It's okay. You don't have to have those big gross numbers or even big net numbers. You don't have to be finding the same slam dunks. That's why I try and normalize churning smalls, and like not every thrift trip I go out is a banger. Sometimes it's just a completely normal, average, everyday thrift trip. I find stuff, but it's not like amazing stuff. So like I'm doing my part to try and normalize that, but at the same time, you got to do the work yourself of just being happy with what you can accomplish. Anyway, that was like it. This video probably did not need to be made, but like, again, I'm feeling a little silly goofy today. Don't be offended, but if you do want to make a whole bunch of comments in my comment section, I will not stop you, because like we're talking about with that SEO, YouTube also loves lots of comments and they don't care what they say. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so, because I make at least 1 reselling video a month that is not a nonsense rant, all about my full-time reselling adventures, be it finding stuff at the thrift to flip on eBay or retail arbitrage for Amazon. Please follow me on Instagram because I'm pretty active in my stories showing all of my little thrift finds and stuff. So if you want little bite-sized pieces of my content, you will want to follow me there. I also have a Patreon. And then there's the Supernova tier, which is my, if you want to say extra thanks, I will shout you out in the video. And for December, my Supernova is again William. I cannot thank William enough for being such a high-level supporter. You are truly the best. Now get out there, have fun, find something good, and maybe change up your stuff a little bit for 2024.